Did you know that once upon a time, there were no stories in the world? Imagine that! No tales of heroes, no funny jokes, no bedtime stories to soothe you to sleep. It's a strange thought, isn't it? Well, today I want to share with you an incredible tale from West Africa about how that all changed thanks to a very clever, very small creature. Long ago, when the world was fresh and new, all the stories belonged to the sky god, Niam. He kept them locked away in a magnificent golden box high up in the heavens. Niam thought stories were just too precious, too powerful for the people on Earth. And so, the world below was a quiet, sad place, lacking the laughter, courage, and wisdom that stories bring. But there was one who saw the people's silent sorrow and decided to do something about it. His name was Kweku Ananse, the Spider. He was small, yes, but his mind was as intricate and clever as the webs he spun. Ananse was determined to win the stories for everyone. So, he spun a single, shimmering thread all the way up to the sky and climbed until he stood before the mighty sky god. "Great Niam," Ananse announced, his voice small but steady. "I have come to buy your golden box of stories." Niam, sitting on his throne, let out a laugh that rumbled like thunder. "A tiny spider wanting to buy his greatest treasure. The price is high." "Little Ananse," Niam boomed. "A price you could never pay. But if you insist, bring me 3 things. Onini the python, whose body is wisdom and strength. Osebo the leopard, the spirit of speed and fury. And the Mobro hornets, whose swarm is like 1,000 burning needles. Bring me these impossible things, and the stories are yours." Everyone who heard this thought it was a joke. How could a small spider capture such powerful beings? But Ananse wasn't discouraged. He just rubbed his 8 legs together, a thoughtful smile on his face, and began to weave his plan. He didn't go looking for a fight. For Onini the python, Ananse used his wit. He walked into the forest, loudly arguing with himself. "This vine is longer," he'd say. Then, "No, the great python is surely longer." Onini, whose pride was as long as his body, overheard this. Intrigued, he slithered over. "Settle this nonsense," he hissed. "I will stretch myself out beside the vine, and you will see my true length." As the proud python stretched out straight and still, Ananse, quick as a flash, used his silk to tie Onini's head and tail securely to 2 strong trees. The great python was trapped, not by force, but by his own vanity. Next up was Osebo the leopard, whose claws were like sharpened spears. Ananse didn't try to outrun him. Instead, he dug a deep, camouflaged pit along the leopard's favorite hunting path. That night, as expected, the fierce leopard fell right in. The next morning, Ananse peered down into the pit with a look of great concern. "Oh, my poor friend Osebo," he cried. "What a terrible accident! Let me help you." He lowered a strong vine, and as the grateful leopard began to climb out, Ananse quickly spun a thick, sticky web. Entangling the furious beast, fury had been defeated by cunning. Finally, there were the Mobro hornets. Ananse didn't dare face their 1,000 stings. He took a large, hollow calabash and a banana leaf and approached their nest. He then sprinkled water from the leaf onto their hive, shouting, "A storm! It's raining! Hurry, hurry! Take shelter in this dry calabash before you all drown!" The confused hornets, feeling the drops of water, buzzed frantically and flew straight into the safety of the gourd. As soon as the last one was inside, Ananse plugged the opening with a leaf. The entire swarm was captured, not with a sting, but with a clever trick. Ananse then gathered his 3 impossible prizes and spun his way back up to the sky. He presented the tied python, the webbed leopard, and the trapped hornets to the sky god. Niam was speechless. He stared in disbelief at the tiny spider who had outsmarted wisdom, fury, and fire. A promise is a promise, even for a god. With a nod of respect, Niam handed over the golden box of stories. Ananse carried the heavy box down his silk thread and opened it, releasing the stories into the world. They flew out like butterflies, spreading to every corner of the earth, into every village and every home. From that day on, stories belonged to everyone. And because they were won by the clever spider, they are known as Anansism, the stories of Ananse. So, the next time you see a spider quietly spinning a web in a corner, remember this tale. They say they are still weaving, creating new stories for all of us who are willing to stop and listen. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from around the world. We'll see you in the next one.